Hello and welcome to part 3 of Bond Falls. Last time we were up here at the lake and I had just crossed that bridge right back there in the background. Now this particular waterfall, it drops 50 feet to get down to the bottom, and I'll be walking down there and taking photos along the way. But first I'm going to start at this small waterfall. And I'm going to be using the variable ND filter. And attaching the filter to your lens basically means that you're adding a fourth dimension to your camera. There's 3 basic adjustments that I always use: your aperture, ISO, and shutter speed. Now adding the filter, what it does is it reduces the amount of light coming into your camera, kind of like wearing sunglasses, with a little bit more technology involved. With less light entering the camera, it allows you to slow your shutter speed down, so anything moving in your frame is going to have a nice blurred look to it. Now first I set up my camera and I set the exposure, your focus, and put it in manual, and use your live view. Then I add the filter to the lens. Now a good trick that I've learned when you put any kind of filter on is I turn it backwards first and then forwards, and that way it catches with the threads better and a less likely chance of me dropping it also. Alright, so one of the things about the variable filter though is if you turn it too far, you're going to get the dreaded cross pattern. It'll look like an X, a dark shadow on your photo. Or you'll have some extreme vignetting, like these samples here. This first photo, you see how it's really dark on the edges? That's what happens when you turn the filter a little bit too far, where it should look like this. But all you do is turn it back a little bit, and that will get rid of those shadows. Alright, let's give this a try. This is kind of exciting. I've never done this before. So I've got the camera set at an ISO 100, f2.8, and 25mm lens. The first shot is 250th of a second, 3 seconds, and then 8 seconds. You can see how the water is a lot softer here. I really like that. That's nice. Now I'm not stacking photos. You know, if I was going to do it, all of it, I would take 2 or 3 shots so that your grass would be nice and clear in the trees. But I'm just doing this to give you an example of what it looks like. Alright, let's head to the bottom of the falls. The falls keep getting larger and larger as you start walking downhill. And I'm going to take a few photos along the way. And they have a pretty good trail system all the way around the falls. It does get pretty steep up here, but they did put in some stairs, and you get to stand right next to the rushing water. Alright, we'll see you down at the bottom. Well, this is the bottom of the falls. It's just gorgeous down here. It's really humid today, so my camera keeps fogging up. But I'm going to head back up to the top. And these are the stairs I was telling you about. There's usually a lot of water on them, so it can be quite slippery. The water is so clear here. I've got a few photos coming up of the forest as I walk back up the hill. Well, thank you for joining me on this 3-part series of Bond Falls in Michigan. I want to thank you also for all the wonderful comments and questions. I really enjoy reading them and answering any questions that you might have along the way. So thank you again, and as always, I hope to see you next time on Adventures Outdoors.